Welcome to episode 321 of the 2 Minute Warning. Today we are looking at who the Jacksonville Jaguars should target in free agency for this 2021 NFL offseason. For the sake of this video, we are going to speculate and just assume in the draft they will take Trevor Lawrence and that he will be their starting quarterback next year. So for the sake of this video, assume that with our free agent predictions. But before we get into the topic, we have our question of the day for this video, and that is, Jaguars fans and NFL fans, who is the all-time leading rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars? If you know the answer, comment it. First comment to get the answer right will get their comment pinned, but if you do not know the answer, it is okay. Stay till the end of this video to find out. Getting into this topic, Wade, who do you think the Jaguars should aim for free agency, having, I believe, the most cap space in the NFL for this offseason?
Yeah, so this offseason, there's tons of free agents that are all really good. If I were them, I'd like to see them focus on the offense just because they're getting a great quarterback. They're going to want to build around him. They got a good running back, so I think I would focus on tight ends. And the main one that popped out to me is Hunter Henry. I don't know how likely it is he's going to sign back with the Chargers. Probably decently, so I don't know if they'll be able to get him. Haven't heard of any other big name tight ends in the draft. Or not draft.
The only reason Hunter Henry would probably go to the Jaguars is because there's a good chance he'd probably they would overpay him. And if he's looking for a paycheck, that might be the ideal thing. But for me, I kind of like the defensive side for free agency. I think a perfect tight end for them would be Jonnu Smith. Not only for a deep threat or a pass or a safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence, but he was a great red zone target for Tannehill in the Tennessee Titans. So I think Jonnu Smith could be a great safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence in the red zone, and he's probably going to get him on the cheap because he's not going to get you a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, but he will get you a touchdown here or there that really comes in clutch at times.
Yeah, I'd also like to see them sign an older wide receiver. There's a lot of big names that pop out to me. Number one, obviously, is Allen Robinson. He's got experience in the league. He's looking to leave the Bears. They have the cap space for him, which is, I think, his big thing, and he wants a quarterback. He's going to get that with Trevor Lawrence.
And he was a Jacksonville Jaguar. So
he has been. Home. So depending on how I don't know if he left on good terms. He could have had problems with the front office. Who knows? But I believe Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin are both free agents as well. Yeah. I doubt that the Bucs are going to re-sign both of those. If I were them, I would try to get one of those. Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown both have tons of experience. They're going to the playoffs this year. They're going to the Super Bowl this year. They're going to know what to expect. And when you got a young quarterback and a young running back in James Robinson, you're going to need some leaders on that team. So I think if you pick a big name person with a lot of talent and I can't think of the word right now, experience, that could really help build that offense and make it mesh together. So I'd like to see him pick up one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. I highly doubt Antonio Brown's going to go to a team that's on rebuild. He's definitely in win now mode, but I think Chris Godwin could definitely be looking for a paycheck after this season with the Bucs. More than likely, I don't want to say they won't be able to afford him, but between Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, all of those Bucs guys, and Ndamukong Suh, all those Buccaneers are going to be free agents. They can't re-sign all of them, so I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Godwin left and the Jaguars offered him a big number. We also have to consider, who did Urban Meyer coach in college, and are they now free agents? So that's definitely a play. He's trying to get some of his old players back now into the NFL now that he is there. That's definitely interesting to consider 100%. But I kind of want to worry about the defensive side of the ball because we saw the Jaguars make it to the AFC Championship a few years ago strictly to their defense. You know, the quarterback wasn't a play in helping that team because it was Blake Bortles, but having an amazing defense, that is only a shell of what it is now, but I think they could possibly revamp it to what it used to be. They still have Myles Jack, captain linebacker for that Jaguars team. He was a part of that 2017 AFC Championship run, but the rest is gone. They do have Josh Allen, defensive end for the Jaguars, who is amazing. I think they need to either add possibly Jadeveon Clowney for a one-year run just to see how he does. I know his talent in actual sack numbers and tackles don't add up to his size and presence and name, but I do think he's looking for a revamp, and he was a great player on the Seahawks. I think the Jaguars have the cap space to take a risk on him for 1 year just to see what he could do. Him and Josh Allen together, both great defensive ends, rushing towards the quarterback could be very dangerous for offenses to face. And also another one would be Bud Dupree, Steelers linebacker. I don't think he's a star-studded dude and this huge talent, but he is a big name, kind of similar to Jadeveon Clowney. He could get sacks, he could get tackles. He's very efficient at getting towards where the ball is and tackling that guy. Him and Myles Jack together would be the same thing as Josh Allen and Jadeveon Clowney together. very dangerous. That is a very dangerous front seven if you got all four of those guys being part of them. I don't think they'll get Clowney and Bud Dupree, but if they could pull off one or the other, that'd be cool to see. And of course, you need to worry about the secondary, whether that be targeting Troy Hill, Justin Simmons, Anthony Harris, lots of possibilities there. But to me, defense is a top priority. Outside of defense, on the offensive side, they really need to worry about offensive linemen because we don't want to see what happened to Joe Burrow happen to Trevor Lawrence. I think they can maybe go after Terrell Williams, the 49ers tackle that will now be a free agent, or possibly Joe Thuney, the offensive guard from the Patriots, who will now be a free agent. So either works. I think Joe Thuney would be great because he will not only protect Trevor Lawrence, but being an interior guard kind of opens up the run game, opens up the pocket for James Robinson to slip through the pockets. I think possibilities are endless. The backfield you don't really need to touch. Receiving core you could definitely add a piece, but I don't think is their main priority, having DJ Shark and Laviska Shenault. Yes, they can use some help, but main priority right now is protection for Trevor Lawrence and getting enough defense he can rely on.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much cover everything. Another tackle I was looking at is Taylor Morton. He's not the most expensive, but he is very efficient at what he does in pass, and you don't want to see Trevor Lawrence get hurt in the first semester. But I really think that whoever they do decide to pick up, it needs to be somebody with experience. You have a young team, young offense for the most part. I don't know about the defense.
And a new coach.
And a new
coach
coach
would love experience.
So you're going to need somebody with a lot of experience. So I hope they get somebody who's maybe older and not too old, but is willing to rebuild, and I think that would really help them.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team's definitely going to be overpaying some guys, but that's what happens when you have this amount of cap space and you're at the brink of the bottom of NFL teams. You're going to overpay, but it is what it is. I think they are 3 or 4 guys, star-studded dudes away from being a great team. Not going to say they're going to make the playoffs, Trevor Lawrence rookie year, but heading into this year, having 2 first-round draft picks and $70 million in cap space, you're going to have 7, 8, 9, 6, whatever it is, new starters on this team. And this Jaguars team is going to look like a brand new team. However, a lot is going to be determined on how Urban Meyer transitions to the NFL. But free agency is going to be a big time for just the NFL in general, but especially for the Jaguars and their 2021 offseason. For the question of the day, the all-time leading rusher for the Jacksonville Jaguars is Fred Taylor, with number 2 following up behind him is Maurice Jones-Drew. Before I found out this stat, I did think Maurice Jones-Drew led, but it is Fred Taylor. That is your answer, guys. Thank you for watching 2 Minute Warning.
2 minutes.